have Latham out in left, Christensen in center, Bates in right. Left side of the infield, Andy Tracy. The shortstop is Gil Velasquez. Right side is Ty Wigginton at second, and Virgil Chevalier at first base. Catcher is Joe DiPastino, and the pitcher is the right-hander Pat Strange. His 21-year-old, 8 wins, 5 losses on the year, 3.82 ERA. And you had a chance to talk to their pitching coach, Al LaBeouf, a little bit about him before the game.
Yeah, Al said he has a power pitcher. He comes right at guys. And talk about a big prospect, guys, 6'5", 243. He's been a solid starter for him. He's got good numbers, less hits than innings pitched, and he's going to throw hard.
113 innings, 111 hits allowed this year, 44 walks, 81 strikeouts, only given up 6 home run balls. He delivers to Malloy, who lifts the fly ball out to left, and Chris Latham with the leather up makes the grab. Malloy is out to start things off here in the bottom of inning number 1. The batter will be the left fielder Alex Hernandez. Hernandez, the left fielder, playing in just his 5th game AAA level this year with the Bats, as we take a good look at Pat Strange, 6'5", 240, making a 2nd start against Louisville this year. Bats won the game here at Louisville Slugger Field back on June the 23rd, game in which he started and pitched against Seth Etherton in that game. Bats won 7-6. Strange allowed 5 runs, 10 hits, and 4 1/3. Strange gets a strike in there to Hernandez. We shouldn't forget about Seth Etherton. I ran into Seth in the clubhouse prior to the game. He is now back as a member of the Reds organization after getting claimed off waivers on the 11th of July by the Yankees and actually making a start in their minor league system at AA Norwich. Major League Baseball voided that waiver claim as the Yankees said that he was not ready to pitch, not healthy enough to pitch, so he is sent back to the Reds, and he's going to go up to Cincinnati and work with the Reds physical therapist Lonnie Soloff, and telling me before the game in the clubhouse he expects to be back down here in a week or so, and he doesn't feel he's that far away from being ready to pitch maybe in the big leagues. As we watch Hernandez on an off-speed pitch there go down on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning.
You see 2 different pitching styles here. Look at Joey Hamilton. There's not any motion that's wasted. He's very quiet with his hands. And look at Strange, talking to quote Al LaBeouf, talking to him before the game, a violent delivery. He's throwing everything at you. They're 2 different contrasting pitching styles.
Here's the captain of the Bats, Chris Sexton. Boy, he's hitting the ball very well lately. Comes into this game at 308 with a homer and 25 runs batted in. Sexton brings an 11-game hitting streak into this contest. Equals the 3rd longest by a Bats player this year. Strange working in a hurry, gets another strike in there, 0-2. Raul Gonzalez, who's back in uniform and in the dugout with the Bats tonight, the longest of the year, 13 games. Ruben Mateo back and active today at 12. And Sexton and Brandon Larson each have hit in 11 in a row. What about Brandon Larson, Scott? A home run again today. He is a totally different player with the Reds this year than when he went up a year ago.
Really seeing the ball very well right now.
As is Sexton, who smokes one out to right field, but playable. Back goes Fletcher Bates, and he makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 first inning for Pat Strange here at Louisville Slugger Field. After 1, no score. Zeros on both sides in the first inning of this game. For the Tide, leading things off will be their catcher, Joe DiPastino, as the fans enjoy themselves. They settle into the seats here at Louisville Slugger Field. Joey Hamilton, first inning. Scott, what do you have him at in terms of pitches?
12 total pitches, 9 strikes.
Well, face the catcher, DiPastino, to lead it off. What do you think of his first inning work?
I thought he did a great job getting ahead of hitters. You know, take away that first pitch, got away from him a little bit. I think that's due partly to his mechanics. He's very quiet, as we talked about those contrasting pitching styles. But I always thought that, especially when I was pitching, the less you do, the less you can do wrong. And I like no wasted motion. He comes right at guys.
That makes sense, doesn't it? The less you do, the less you can do wrong.
Now, some guys, if they get more movement, it's more of a timing thing. They can't find the release point. They're not consistent in the strike zone.
Joey Hamilton, 6'4", 240 as he delivers outside to DiPastino. 2 balls and 1 strike. This is a fellow, former #1 pick by San Diego back in 1991, who was actually drafted in 1988 by the Baltimore Orioles, 28th round, but did not sign and made a big splash in San Diego in the mid to late 90s, and then was traded over to the Toronto Blue Jays One of the players involved in that deal going from San Diego, or pardon me, from Toronto's organization to San Diego, the fellow who pitched here earlier this year, now on the Reds DL, and that's Carlos Almanzar. There we see Hamilton get good location over the outside corner.
That's a great location with that nice fastball. Runs right across back across the outside corner. Great spot.
Leadoff man retired here in the top of the second. Disappointed DePastino in the Norfolk dugout. Here's a left fielder, the switch hitting Chris Latham. Latham at 229, 5 homers and 35 runs batted in. Latham last night 1 for 3. One of only 4 hits picked up by Norfolk last night. Last night's 2-0 victory, the 9th Louisville shutout this year. Chance for Witt at first, who makes the play. There are 2 men out. Joey Hamilton, we talked about, pitched down here last year in Louisville, pitched against Indianapolis in this ballpark on the 2nd of September last year, allowing 3 runs, 4 hits in 5 innings. Then again in the playoffs.
You got a little sinking fastball there that Latham rolled over, and easy play for Witt at first base. That's a pitcher's pitch. He made him hit his pitch.
2 out, nobody on, and here's the first baseman, Virgil Chevalier, hitting .333. Couple of RBIs with his club. Chevalier just been up here less than a week. Here's a Double-A Binghamton where he's hitting .295 with 5 home runs. A little off-speed breaking ball there from Joey. Ball and a strike.
Yeah, the first strike, pretty sharp breaking ball. Looked like that when he kind of left behind, had that backup rotation, didn't get out in front of his body.
Joey Hamilton trying to get himself into a position, Scott, where he can go back up and join what has now turned out to be a pretty darn good rotation that the Reds have up there in Cincinnati. They won today 10-5 over Pittsburgh, did a lot of that damage with the home run ball, but also got to see Brian Moeller make his first National League start coming home from Detroit yesterday.
Yeah, that rotation just keeps getting better and better. They're getting quality starts out of those guys, and they're really starting to put together some good numbers for them.
Today, 4 runs, 9 hits in 5 innings against Moeller, but he allowed all 4 of those runs in the first inning. Here's Chevalier lining one into left field. That's a 2-out single. Hamilton allowed a 2-out hit in the first to Wigginton, and 2-out hit here in the second to Chevalier.
They fell behind a little bit there, 3-1. Gets a fastball up in his zone, punches it out in the left field for the base hit. He's coming right at guys. You know, he's not going to waste pitches and get that ball down the zone. It's a different story.
So hit number 2 for Norfolk, and here's their shortstop, Gil Velasquez, hitting .222. Another guy who hasn't been with this ball club that long at all. So he gets ahead of him with a strike. Velasquez went 1 for 3 last night and a single in his first time up. He began the season at Double-A Binghamton. They sent him down to Port St. Lucie, and then from there jumped a level and up to the Triple-A ranks, where he's been up here since the 15th, so 9 days, hitting just .222. Witt holds the runner. Down the right field line this ball goes. It's slicing foul ball into a good crowd here on this Wednesday night, the 24th of July. I mentioned the Bats are a game and a half ahead of Toledo. Toledo playing again at home tonight against the Rochester Red Wings. That's Baltimore's top farm club, and Bats just came from Rochester on their last road trip. Manager Dave Miley said if this Louisville club can just put together a mini streak, he said 10 of 12, 12 of 14, he thinks they'd be able to hang on.
At this time of year, especially a game and a half up coming into the night, your next 15 games, if you get on a roll, you're really going to put yourself in a good spot coming into August.
Following tonight's game, 38 games remain in the regular season. But here's the key for both Louisville, Scott, and Toledo. Louisville and Toledo play each other 10 times still this year. 6 here and 4 in Toledo.
Could be a lot of flip-flopping at the top right there.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Joey Hamilton working tonight with Corky Miller, whom he worked with earlier this year up in Cincinnati, last year in Cincinnati. Joey went into this year 70 big league victories, 63 losses. That one in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So with his 3 wins this year, he's at 73 major league victories in his career. Most of those with San Diego. That trade really between the Padres and the Blue Jays never really worked out for Toronto, because he goes over there and in the 1999 season 7-8 with a 6.5 ERA. That's when he started developing the shoulder problems and ultimately underwent right shoulder surgery in September of '99. Missed most of the 2000 season recuperating and then let go last year. Here is a check swing and an appeal and a denial and a ball 4. That's a walk given to Velasquez.
I think a pretty big sweeping breaking ball that Velasquez was able to hold up on, and you know, that situation, we got the pitcher up now, and you know, make him hit a nasty pitch with that count.
Joey Hamilton this year 37 walks, 86 in the 3rd innings in the big leagues with the Reds, as he deals now with the pitcher Strange. Sounded like he broke his back. Ground ball to 3rd. Sexton makes the play and the inning comes to an end. Boy, that's when you love to play those National League affiliates. You get in a little bit of a jam, you get the pitcher up there. 2 men left for the Norfolk to get on the board first in this game. No score. Bottom of inning number 2. Louisville went down in order against his right-hander Pat Strange in the 1st inning, and they'll have Witt, Williams, and Jennings due up here in the bottom of the 2nd. Last time out for Pat Strange, 5 runs, 9 hits in 6 innings, and a no decision against Columbus at home on the 19th. And prior to that, a win at Indianapolis on the 14th, in which he allowed no runs, 1 hit in 7 innings. So there's that up and down season you're talking about with this young 21-year-old.
I mean, this guy that's 21, now he's in AAA. He's signed in '98 out of high school, and he's on the fast track, moving up pretty quick.
Well, he's the 3rd top prospect in the Mets organization. Their top prospect we saw last night, Aaron Heilman, going into this year, and prior to a trade, their 2nd biggest prospect, also had been with the Norfolk club for a while last year, but now he's in the Indians organization. That's Alex Escobar.
2 big guys that we're talking about, Heilman and Strange, 21 and 23 years old. They're going to put up some serious numbers when they get to the big leagues.
Jay Wong-So, one of their top pitching prospects, also here with this club after a brief stint in the big leagues last week. He actually worked against the Reds up at Synergy Field. Kevin Witt now leads things off in the bottom of the 2nd of this scoreless game. Cleanup man at .251 on the year. 17 home runs and an International League leading 74 RBIs. Kevin Witt selected as one of 3 Louisville players to participate in the International Leagues, on the International League All-Star team as part of the AAA All-Star game down in Oklahoma City this year, but he missed that. His wife Lori was expecting, and in fact gave birth on the 11th of July to Tanner Joseph Witt, all 8 pounds 15 ounces of him, the couple's 2nd child, and that occurred on this Sunday. He was beckoned home down to Texas. Lori said, "I think it's time," and he went down there and missed the All-Star festivities down in Oklahoma City, and in fact missed the first 4-game series out at Pawtucket after the All-Star break. He said, "Mom's fine, Tanner's fine, so he's fine."
Now that makes it all worthwhile. I mean, it's a great honor to be voted on the All-Star team, but that's something very special.
Hard hit ball toward the middle. Nice play by Wigginton, and on to first to retire Kevin Witt. Nicely done by Wigginton for a 4-3 putout. 4 up, 4 retired by Pat Strange of the Norfolk Tides. And look at the ballpark here. Very asymmetrical. 325 down the left field line, 340 to the right field line, 400 to straightaway center, and then that right center field area 365, and left center 380. Not as bad, Scott, and you can attest to this being a left-handed pitcher, not nearly as asymmetrical as the ballpark out at Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah, the old Cardinal Stadium, you could almost blow a ball out there at 290, maybe 292 down the right field line.
Gerald Williams reached for an off-speed pitch, pops it foul. DePastino back to the screen, and he cannot come up with that ball. Gerald Williams, we talked about him in our early segment, pregame segment of the broadcast. His big triple last night. This guy started the year with the Yankees, released by them, went to the Cardinals organization and played at their AAA ball club, but he seems pretty happy here, and he credits a lot of his turnaround to Brooke Jacoby, the hitting coach of the Bats.
It's just a matter of time before Gerald gets right on track. He's hitting 302. He's a great veteran player. We came up together. We were in Double-A. I was with the Phillies, and Gerald and Bernie were both with the Yankees, and he was always a tough out.
Adds a veteran presence to this ball club late in the year as he catches a breaking ball and lifts it down the left field line. Can anybody get it? It's foul, and it's caught by the left fielder. Nice play by Chris Latham out there at the last minute. Velasquez, the shortstop, kind of ducked out of the way. He didn't want to get hit by the ball or by Latham. Latham made a nice catch.
Well, see the pop-up by Gerald, and you got everybody closing in on the ball. It looks like the shortstop is calling the ball, and all of a sudden Latham comes in and calls him off, ends up reaching over his head and making a pretty good catch.
Really nice catch by Latham, considering that Velasquez was right there down near the bullpen mound. 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the second. Here's Robin Jennings. Outfield shades him to go toward left center. Strange starts him off with a fastball. Robin at 208. 3 homers, 31 runs batted in. 0 for 2 with a walk in the game last night. Hitting better second half of the season, but not the kind of Robin Jennings that we know in terms of what he can do. Started to pick things up late June, early part of July, but now after hitting 264 in June, only 183 in the month of July. One ball and 2 strikes. Robin Jennings, to his credit, Scott, has not made excuses as to why he's not hitting. He says it's just not working out. Just not hitting.
Robin's a professional. He's been playing a long time. He goes about his business, and sometimes things just don't go your way.
He pops this 1-2 pitch up. First baseman coming down the line, making the catch is Chevalier. And another 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the second by the right-hander Pat Strange. 6 up, 6 retired. After 2, no score. No score after 2 here at Louisville Slugger Field. Some of the more non-traditional places to view the game. That's the home run terrace, or the berm area out in left center field here at the ballpark. That's Joey Hamilton. He'll work here in the third to the top of the order for the Norfolk Tides. McKay Christensen leads things off. There are a couple of former #1 picks going at it right here. Joey Hamilton and McKay Christensen. Chance for Dawkins. Bobbled it momentarily, but he gets it to first in time, and Christensen on the first pitch of the third rolls out. Shortstop to the first baseman. Christensen, a #1 pick by the Angels back in 1994, and Hamilton by the Padres in 91. We watched Dawkins, and fans up here really enjoying the opportunity to watch Gookie. He would go from Double-A to the Reds, and then instead of coming here like everyone thought he might, Reds would send him back to Chattanooga, and everybody here would sigh, saying, come on, we want to see this guy, this prospect, this fellow who supposedly is going to be the man that takes over at shortstop for Barry Larkin when Barry finally doesn't play anymore. First pitch swinging here, Bates, and a chance for Malloy. There are 2 out. 2 pitches and 2 out for Joey Hamilton. What did you have for him in the second?
Well, he's up to 32 pitches total. He threw 20 pitches in the second inning. Now we're at 34, 2 first pitch outs, and those are outing extenders, getting those guys to swing at that first pitch ground ball.
34 right now with 2 men out in the third inning, and he'll deal with Ty Wigginton. Now, if you're Ty Wigginton, you guys in front of you out on 1 pitch each, you're going to take a pitch, maybe a couple.
Have to take at least a pitch to give your pitcher a little break, and Joey's trying to go right at him because he knows that's what's going on.
Wigginton had a hit in the right field his first time. Started this game at 306. He's at 1 ball and 1 strike. He went up to the big leagues middle part of May, was up there a couple of weeks, made his major league debut this year. Now he gets another hit here into left field out in front of Alex Hernandez, who gets the ball back in. Third hit of the game for Norfolk. For the 3rd consecutive inning, a 2-out base hit. Look at Ty Wigginton, who's tops on this club now with 43 RBIs. We see Joey Hamilton and Corky Miller talking it over. Looks like they're trying to decide where they're going after the game as opposed to what pitch may be coming next.
Sometimes important conversations like that do go on during games.
Yeah.
We got to eat after the game, you know.
Could that have possibly been a cross-up in terms of pitches?
It looked like that was a changeup that Wigington hooked out there, got his bat out on it, and maybe they're talking about the pitch sequence or selection that they're going through.
Andy Tracy, first pitch swinging. Dawkins, Malloy, and out at second base. The 3 outs all go after the first pitch. And a relatively short inning in terms of pitches, only 6 thrown by Joey Hamilton. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. No score. No score, bottom of the 3rd. In your picture, you see Chris Subchik right there talking right behind, right under, there he is right there. Chris Subchik just to the left of the gentleman with a hat on. Chris, a member of the Louisville Bats front office, and today is his last game working for the team. He's been here 4.5 years. He's accepted a job outside of the athletic world, and we congratulate him for his long stay here and his hard work, and wish him the best of luck as he moves on in his career. Hitting things off, Corky Miller in the bottom of the 3rd. Long fly ball into right, but running it down is Fletcher Bates. Corky gave it a pretty good ride right near the warning track, and Bates has it, and Pat Strange has faced and retired the first 7 in the Louisville lineup.
Yeah, he's going right at these hitters, and you see the pitch. Corky stays inside. He puts a good swing on that ball, drives it in the gap, is run down by the right fielder Bates.
Corky Miller started the season here in Louisville, and when Kelly Stinnett went out very early onto the disabled list, Miller went up and spent, what, 3 months up there, almost 3.5 months. Been down here now, his 8th game. Solidifying that catcher spot, although, truth be told, the 2 catchers that are here, Mike Stefanski, Jesse Levis, have done awfully good work. And Levis right now in particular swinging a torrid bat, the hottest bat on the club. He had a game-winning 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th here on Monday afternoon. Helped the Bats to a 5-3 win.
Man, he's been very hot, and that's another veteran, knows how to play a game, gets a pitch and can go after it.
Sharp breaking ball there, and Dawkins taken care of very quickly by Pat Strange.
Pretty good pitch sequence by Strange there. He a couple nasty breaking balls, and Dookie showed bunt on the first pitch. The bottom really just falls out this breaking ball. Looks kind of funny because Strange kind of rotates the ball to his grip with his hand out of the glove. But that was a nasty curveball.
Joey Hamilton with 2 out. First pitch swinging, pop up to the shortstop. Velasquez is there, and he makes the catch, and that's the 3rd 1-2-3 inning by Pat Strange. He's faced and retired 9 batters in this game. A quick 3 from the ballpark. After 3, we're scoreless. And between innings of the game, this is where you need to hang out. That's the concourse here at Louisville Slugger Field, and who knows who you may run into, Dancing Carl or Buddy Bat. You take your choice.
Tough call.
Tough call. That's right. Buddy looks like he's trying to bum a quarter off somebody to get himself a drink, isn't he?
He's working the crowd.
It's the left field corner here at the ballpark. Bats would like to see one fly into that seat area out there and left to take the lead in this game, but so far it's settled for just a base runner. They have not been able to get a base runner against Pat Strange. Joey Hamilton threw 3 innings, 38 pitches. Well, what an inning on both sides last inning, Scott, in terms of pitches thrown.
That's something you really don't see at this level very often. 11 total pitches for the inning. Hamilton threw 6 and Strange threw 5.
Through 3, both pitchers have been dominant in this one. Joe DiPestino leads it off. What do you think he does? First pitch swinging to 3rd. 1 man out as Sexton throws him out. One of this is good for Joey Hamilton as they try to get him certainly to the 75 pitches, but he's now working deep in counts. Thus, he doesn't have to do a lot of the things and think a lot of the way that he might have to deeper in a count.
Well, you don't have to go through the whole pitch sequence. I mean, if you're getting first pitch ground balls and then you're doing your job, it's just a matter of the physical conditioning, get him ready to go back to the big leagues.
Here's the left fielder, Chris Latham. Grounded out his first time. He takes a pitch, and it's a strike.
The ball ran outside. That's borderline. That's a pitcher's pitch.
Broken bat ball back to the mound. Joey locates it. Fires the first in time. Kevin Witt had to keep his head low to block the sun, and he did so, and there are quickly 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. He is getting, as you say, Scott, a lot of ground ball outs.
You see that broken bat comebacker and bounce around. Hamilton locates it. You see him drop down sidearm, try to keep the ball out of the sun. Kevin, that was self-defense over there to catch that ball.
Put the leather up and hoped it would attract the ball. And it did. 2 out. Let's see if Joey here can have a 1-2-3 inning. First 3 frames, he's retired the first 2 and then allowed a hit. And the first to Wigginton and the second to Chevalier and the third to Wigginton. What about the fourth? Here's Chevalier again. These are 2 balls and no strikes. Chevalier 5 home runs and a .295 average at Double-A Binghamton this year prior to his call up here. Oh, chance for Sexton at third. He didn't get down far enough. Tried to backhand it. Was unable to do so. And that hot shot goes into left field. And Chevalier is on with 2 men out. That'll be a hit for Chevalier. Although you talk to Sexton, he'll say he should have had that ball.
Yeah, I'm sure Chris is a little disappointed with himself. See, get the ground ball. Chevalier rolls over on it to his backhand side, and you see his disgust there as the ball goes past him into left field.
Sexton shakes his head. Third base a little different than short. You don't have as much time. It's more reaction than positioning.
Yeah, the hot corner, you either stick the glove out and grab it or the ball's by you.
Runner on for the 4th inning in a row with 2 men out. Velasquez the batter. Good breaking ball there for a strike. And he told you the Reds won today. The final score at home 10-5. So Cincinnati takes 2 of 3 from Pittsburgh. The Reds win for the 53rd time. Quick throw to first by Miller and a good pickup by Kevin Witt. Reds victory puts them 5 games above 500. They start the day 4.5 behind the Cardinals. Cardinals are playing tonight at San Francisco. Andy Bennis on the mound against Murray State product Kirk Reeder. Andy Bennis has been down at AAA Memphis for a good portion of this year. Cardinals were winning at San Francisco last night 4-0, while the Reds were winning at home over the Bucks. Toward the hole, Dawkins goes to first this time. Strong arm, and out at first base is Velasquez. And that retires the side here in the top of the 4th inning. 1 out, pardon me, a 2 out hit by Chevalier is wasted. 5 stranded now for the Tides. No score, middle of the 4th. A lot of goose eggs on the board here as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And on the big screen here, Kiss Cam. I don't think we're going to get those 2 to help us out. Jose Acevedo on the left. A great job he did in the game here last night. No runs, 4 hits in 7 innings. More importantly, no walks and 9 strikeouts. He's really coming around, Acevedo.
Yeah, we had him on TV game earlier this year and pitched very well, exhibiting that great fastball command, pitching to both sides of the plate. He really pitched well last night.
First pitch swinging. Why change things? Marty Malloy to first base and fielded by Chevalier, and Marty is out, and that's 10 up and 10 down by the Bats. Boy, this is a different Pat Strange. It's guy than the Bats saw almost a month ago, a month and a day ago here. A 7-6 Louisville win as we see Chevalier handle that play. The numbers radically different.
Oh, give up 10 hits and 5 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 1 strikeout.
In 4 1/3 innings. In the 4 full innings that he worked in that game, 1 1-2-3 inning, and he was in trouble every other inning. Finally left with only 1 man out in the 5th, but not tonight.
And looking at his numbers on the year, typically the middle innings, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th inning are the innings he has trouble. His ERA's been over 4 in those innings. He's been under 3 in the first 3 innings, and if he makes it to the 7th, 8th, and 9th, he's virtually not giving up too much.
Working here in the 4th, and actually falls behind Alex Hernandez. Counts 2 balls and a strike. Hernandez, first-year Reds player. Last year before that, 2000, with the Nashville Sounds and the PCL. That's the Pirates AAA club, and a couple of short stints in the big leagues with Pittsburgh. Talking about Hernandez, this is Pat Strange you're taking a look at. 2nd round pick by the Mets in '98, and there is Hernandez. Strange gets him to go for 1 down and in, evening the count at 2-2. Strike 3 called, says Stu Robertson, over the inside corner. Strange gets his 3rd strikeout. With 2 men out in the 4th, and he has punched out Hernandez both times up there.
Pretty good fastball. That ball runs back across the inside corner. Now, I talked about how he looks like he's rotating to his pitch grip out of his glove. We can see it from the center field camera angle. Rotates to a 4-seam fastball, and that ball explodes at the plate.
That's got to be very difficult to do. You have to be able to do it very quickly, obviously.
Not only that, but you're still trying to hide the ball from the hitter. Maybe he's spinning the ball and that looking for a seam.
Would it be something you'd recommend? Because if someone can really be intent on that in the dugout, might be able to pick up virtually every pitch that's thrown.
Start picking up, you might fan your glove a little bit more on off-speed pitches. He doesn't have his finger out of his glove. A lot of times guys, when they're throwing a fastball, they'll make a fist with their glove hand, and sometimes off speed their index finger will fly.
Sexton at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Strange comes after him with a curveball, and Chris disagrees with a high strike 3 call there of Stu Robertson, the man in blue behind the plate. But Strange gets the strikeout as the two talk about it, and that strikeout ended the bottom of the 4th. 4 quick ones here at the ballpark and no score. We'll take a look at this strike 3 call from Strange to Sexton at ended the last inning. Here's one from behind the pitcher, and here's one from the side. What do you think, Scott?
That ball's up above the belt. Being a pitcher, of course, if a guy doesn't swing at that pitch, I'd want it, but I think the ball was above the belt line there. It was a borderline pitch.
Sexton thought it was a ball. Stu Robertson thought it was a strike. Strange agreed. He's at the plate now. We're moving to the 5th inning of this scoreless duel. Bats have gone 12 up, 12 down against Strange. Grounded out to Sexton his first time at 3rd, and quickly in the hole here, 2 strikes, and now he will take a quick seat on 3 pitches and a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Joey Hamilton, who has not allowed a leadoff man to reach in this game, and he gets Strange there.
You see a breaking ball from Hamilton. The bottom falls out, and you can tell that pitchers don't take BP every day.
Norfolk pitchers hitting only 128 on the year, just about what Louisville pitchers are hitting. Bats pitchers come into action tonight at 125. Not a lot of hitting going on there, other than this Norfolk club. One pretty good hitting pitcher, Justin Brunette, 4 for 9 as a hitter this year. Strike call now to McKay Christensen. Christensen nothing out of 2, a strikeout and a ground out. 0 for 6 in this series. He came into this series hitting .385 against Louisville pitching. Has not been on base yet either last night or in this game, in this 2-game set. Christensen was playing AAA a year ago near the trading deadline, traded from the White Sox. He was playing AAA at Charlotte, traded to the White Sox, from the White Sox to the Dodgers, and for a time he was out there in LA and leading off for the Dodgers. Did a pretty good job for them in 28 games at .327 with LA a year ago. Named off waivers by the Mets this spring. Back here in the International League. 2-2 now to Christensen from Joey Hamilton. You had him at 48 pitches through 4, and he's thrown 7 now in this inning. Dave Miley had said before the game, depending on how deep into the game 75 pitches takes Joey Hamilton, he would follow him up with Jeff D'Amico. He can get through this inning and maybe the 6th. Then Dave's mind may change a little bit.
Well, this time of year it'd be nice to, if you could bump your starting rotation back, give them an extra day, get them on the same schedule, work routine, but it's nice to have that day off.
Count is run full to Christensen with 1 man out in the top of the 5th. Strike 3 called over the inside corner. Hamilton got Strange swinging to start the frame, and he gets Christensen looking here for the 2nd out.
Great pitch sequence there. He throws 2 running fastballs on the outside corner. Comes back with a changeup. He drops, tries a fastball. He misses inside, and then freezes him there with a nice fastball on the inside corner.
Well, Hamilton has walked 1 in this game, and for a fellow who hasn't pitched in game action for a couple of weeks, he's awfully sharp, isn't he?
Very sharp. He's got great command on both sides of the plate, throwing his breaking ball, keeping guys off balance.
Batter is Fletcher Bates. He finds himself quickly in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. What we're seeing tonight, both pitchers, A, working quickly, and B, finding their spots.
Yeah, location is the key. I mean, everything works off your fastball command. That sets up everything to be able to throw to both sides of the plate and change the way the hitters have to track the pitch.
Bates a late cut on a fastball. Lazy fly ball into left field. There's a 1-2-3 inning, the first of the game by Joey Hamilton. Where do you have it?
60 pitches.
60 pitches through 5, and we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. No score. Round and round we go. Where she stops, nobody knows.
Must not have been a full rep. Oh, I haven't seen Jim Kelch. That was taped a little bit earlier. I was looking for a full revolution on there.
What's that song? On the Carousel. Well, the youngsters go out there. You get tired of watching the game, off you go to Playland, right?
Every time we bring my brother's daughters out with nieces, they just dying to get out there.
Hey, there's the first base runner of this game for the Bats. Kevin Witt with a solid single into center field gets things going here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 12 in a row retired by the right-hander Pat Strange, and Kevin Witt breaks things up here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, Kevin put a great swing on that ball. Hit the ball right back up the box. Strange had a duck to get out of the way.
Talking about Kevin Witt a little bit earlier, Scott, and the fact that he struggled second half of June and a little bit here in the early part of July, but really since the Bats have come home during this homestand, he's done great work. 2 solid hits last night. Hit the ball hard both times tonight. And we take a look at the man at first base. That's Rodney McCray. He's the outfield and base running coordinator in the Reds minor league system. They roam around taking care of the minor league clubs, checking things out, working with them, and in his case, his specialty, outfield play and base running. And I wonder if he teaches these guys how to run through walls.
Go through the wall, run through the wall for your pitcher. That's what pitchers like to see their outfielders going after it that way.
Not only did he say that and believe that, he's done it. He's not asking anyone to do anything he didn't do. Rodney McCray back in, I think, the early 90s or so, maybe near the 93-94 season, ran through the wall in pursuit of a fly ball out in Portland. Isn't that the story?
Yeah, I've seen that clip many times where he crashes through the wooden wall and the wood actually flips over as he runs through it.
That's our guy, first base coach Rodney McCray. Not to be confused with a basketball player of the same name here in Louisville, Kentucky. 2-2 now to Gerald Williams, and there's one final peek at Rodney McCray doing cartwheels on the field prior to the game.
Yeah, watching his antics pregame during BP, he is very high strung, a lot of energy.
Off-speed breaking ball, and Williams taps it foul. Joe DiPestino loses his mask in the process. That happened to him, Scott, a couple of times last night. What's the situation there? What's going on?
I saw last night, looked like he had a foul tip off his forearm. Now I see a breaking ball that Gerald swings over. It looks like it catches the ground right behind home plate. It clips right under the mask, knocks it off.
Corky Miller at the plate last night. He also looked like he may have caught a portion of Corky's backswing. Knocked him over. Slowly toward third by Williams, and foul. Picked up by Andy Tracy.
Well, that's a job you couldn't pay me enough to get behind home plate, put the equipment on, and have somebody out there throwing as hard as they can at you.
Well, luckily, you were left-handed, so you never even asked to do that, I wouldn't imagine. Although, being a coach, I bet you have a left-handed catcher's mitt, don't you?
No, I don't. No. I don't catch anybody.
You don't go down there, and even in the bullpen.
No, I'll have someone squat one of my catchers.
Hey, they've got him at first base. Kevin Witt on a quick move by Pat Strange is nailed at first, and now he'll make the longest run of them all. Back to first after being picked off. That's a quick move.
Yeah, very quick. And the key to the pickoff move for especially right-handed pitchers, have a quick feet, the jump turn after you disengage the rubber, and not to take a step toward third base, but to step directly back to cut down on the distance of the throw.
Into the dugout goes Kevin Witt, and Pat Strange back to the windup. Still faced now in this game the minimum of batters, and he's gone full to Gerald Williams. Gerald, a couple of years ago, here's a guy 35 years old, and your first inclination is to think, well, maybe as he gets a little bit older, his game isn't as sharp as it was Here's a guy a couple of years ago. Gerald Williams had one of the best years of his career at Tampa Bay. In 2000, he hit .274 with 21 homers and 89 RBIs. Look at the pickoff.
See the pickoff. Throw right on the money. Nice slap tag. Very quick feet on the throw.
To the shortstop. Velasquez to first. Williams is retired. 2 men out. He fouled out down near the Bats bullpen left field side his first time. He goes out short to first this time. 2 up, 2 down.
Pretty good at bat by Gerald. Fouls off a couple pitches. Gets a pitch, tops it a little bit, rolls over on it. Great effort by Gerald. You know, veteran player. He's going hard all the way through the bag.
Pretty good base stealer. Back when he was with the Braves, and before that the Yankees.
Yeah, Gerald had great wheels. Still has great wheels. You saw it going down the line there, and looking at Witt breaking up the no-hitter there with the single, and Gerald's just trying to get something going, maybe put some pressure on the shortstop to bobble it, going down the line hard.
Jennings at a ball and a strike. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th, scoreless game. Jennings popped up to the first baseman Chevalier his first time. Jennings in the air, on the infield, right side again. This time it's Wigginton, the second baseman, who settles under it. He makes the catch, and because of the pickoff, another 1, 2, 3 frame. The minimum face through 5. 15 batters for Pat Strange. After 5, no score. No score, 6th inning. Hot dogs are the item of choice tonight here at the ballpark. 1 hot dog, 2 hot dogs, 3 hot dogs, and we'll get to your total of 4 before each game. Nothing beats a hot dog at the park unless it's an ear of corn or a pork chop sandwich or a pulled pork sandwich. You get all that out here at the park, including fried bologna.
Oh, they have everything. Anything you can imagine, and it's all excellent.
Wigginton leads it off here in the 6th inning against Joey Hamilton. He's fallen behind 3-0. Scott, you had him at 60 pitches through 5 with the Bats having action in the pen. Jeff D'Amico is indeed up and throwing. This would figure to be it for the right-hander. Well, this has been an impressive 5 so far.
Yeah, he's pitched very well tonight. Show command of all of his pitches. I like how quick he works and comes right at those guys.
Lined into right field by Wigginton, but Jennings has it played correctly to his left and makes the catch. 5 in a row now by Hamilton. He had his first 1, 2, 3 inning in the 5th. He gets Wigginton on a line out here in inning number 6.
See Wigginton line the ball out to Jennings in left field. Wigginton was 2 for 2 coming that at bat. He's had punched 2 singles through the infield.
Take a look at how the Toledo Mud Hens are doing tonight. They're the team a game and a half behind the Bats. They're mad about last night's 10-2 loss. Toledo gets 8 runs, Scott. 8 runs in the bottom of the 2nd. After 2, it's Toledo 8 and Rochester nothing. Eric Munson, big Tiger prospect, has hit a couple of home runs in that game against Josh Towers. Both of them in the same inning. 8-0 Toledo after 2. Bats lead the Mud Hens by game and a half in the standings. Hit down the left field line. This ball on the bat of Andy Tracy, and into the crowd it goes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a look at Jeff D'Amico. He's made 2 starts for Louisville since coming over from Cleveland organization. He's been traded 3 times. 3 times this season. Most players go through a career without having been traded 3 times, and he's been traded 3 times this year, twice by the Cleveland organization.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact. I played 10 years and only played with 3 different teams.
3 different organizations. Yeah. Phillies, Cardinals, Pirates.
And the Pirates,
right?
Finished up with the Pirates down in Nashville.
2-2 to Tracy. Strike 3 called. Against the left-handed hitters, Joey Hamilton has really been able to paint that inside corner.
Pounding that fastball in, standing guys up, freezing them for that called 3rd strike. Earlier in the count, saw him throw a curveball that didn't get a call. He gets that one. That ball is right on the inside corner, maybe at belt level. That's a great pitch.
He gets his 5th strikeout. There are 2 men gone. He's now retired 6 in a row. And you deal now with Joe DiPastino, nothing out of 2. He hits the first one hard to the shortstop. Dawkins to Witt. Inning over. Another good frame. What do you have him at?
71 pitches.
71 pitches. I would guess he's probably not going back. Great 6 innings for Joey Hamilton here at Louisville Slugger Field. Bottom of the 6th upcoming. No score. No score. Bottom of the 6th inning. Boy, Scott, Joey Hamilton appears to be finished after 6. We saw him come into the dugout and shake the hand of Mac Jenkins, the pitching coach, shake the hand of Dave Miley, the manager of the Bats. 6 innings work, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and what a superior job he did in this game.
Fantastic outing. Great command, went right at hitters and showed all of his pitches, kept hitters off speed, or off balance rather, and just did a fantastic job.
He can be down here, and there's a good look at Joey in the dugout. He can be down here for up to 30 days on the rehab assignment. As it was stated in the Cincinnati paper today, he'll be down here until he is able to be competitive here and help the club up north. First pitch swinging by Miller, ground ball to third, and Corky is thrown out by Andy Tracy. If tonight's performance is any indication, they're going to have still another decision to make regarding Joey Hamilton, but it would be a good one.
Oh, it's a great one. There, see Corky Miller's hit the ball twice, very hard, kind of hit the third baseman off balance. Easy play at first.
Who's going to blink first in this game? That's about what we're up to. No score, bottom of the 6th. Dookie Dawkins up there. Bats have 1 hit. That was by Kevin Whitten. He was picked off. So Pat Strange has faced the minimum, and he's done it with things like that. A sharp curveball. He gets ahead of Dawkins for strike 1. Ruben Mateo is on deck. He was just activated today from the disabled list. Mateo been on the DL since the 3rd of July with a broken right ring finger. Occurred at Indianapolis on the 4th of July. Pardon me, on the 2nd of July. And on the DL on the 3rd. And there's Ruben, ready to get going again. Having a pretty good year here with Louisville. Stint with the Reds this year as well. He's on deck. There's Dawkins, and he took a hard fastball, looked like right in the kidney. And he'll take first base. Second base runner of the game for the Bats. That one has to hurt a little bit, coming from a guy, Pat Strange, who throws pretty hard.
Yeah, Strange throws 93, 94 miles an hour. Looks like a fastball he pulls off of, and ball chases him a little bit below the belt, and luckily hit him in some muscle there.
He'll have a bruise, but not like hitting bone. Not on the kidney. There, you see it.
Anywhere you get hit, it doesn't feel good.
Dawkins is on. 1 on with 1 out, and here's Mateo batting for Hamilton. Mateo, a pinch hitter here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Dave Miley put on maybe a hit and run, get something started here.
Pitch to Ruben Mateo, misses inside for ball 1. Mateo with the Bats hitting .317, 9 homers, 21 runs batted in. He takes a swipe at that breaking ball and doesn't get it. And he's at 1 ball and 1 strike. One on and 1 out. Dawkins with the lead. And Jeff D'Amico continues to throw in the bullpen. Mateo hits it toward third. Tides go to second, get 1. Back to first, not in time. Mateo will run the bases. Mateo started the season down here, went to Cincinnati, spent a month and a half up there, been back now with the Bats since the 20th of May, and his first at bat in 3 weeks. Rolls into a force play.
You see the third baseman, Andy Tracy, looked like he couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and that's what caused him from turning over the double play. As Dawkins goes in hard, and Mateo is able to beat out the throw at first base.
That's the second baseman, Wigginton, put up in the air by Dawkins. Here's Marty Malloy. Ball 1 to him. Jeff D'Amico has come out of the bullpen and down to the Bats dugout. He will take over in the 7th inning. Relief stint from Joey Hamilton. Joey went a very impressive 6. Mateo on the move. Pitch the ball. The throw bounces in there and safe at second base. Mateo went in with a head-first slide. A good pick by the shortstop, Velasquez, on a throw that short-hopped him from the catcher, DiPastino.
Yeah, that was a tough pick. You're coming across, and Velasquez does a nice job keeping the ball in front of him, and picking the ball, and actually tries to make the tag a little bit too fast. The ball pops out.
Nice job of getting the right hand in there by Mateo.
Yeah, nice slide, nice reach out there, and you see him kind of change direction, reach around, and catch the corner of the bag. That's a great slide.
He went in with a left hand, and as Velasquez was ready to put the tag on that hand, he pulled that one back and snuck the right one in there, and he gets his 3rd stolen base of the year. Nice work by Mateo. And 3-0 to Marty Malloy. Strange for the first time in a bit of a jam. And Mateo leading away at second. He's 3 for 4 stolen base attempts this year on a Louisville team that has not done a whole lot of running, right near the bottom of the league in stolen bases. Another strike to Malloy, full count. First base runner to reach second base for the Bats in this game is Mateo. Tides have had 1 runner at second as well. Game has been dominated by pitching thus far. Marty to center field. Christensen is there, and the inning is over. Another shutout frame for Pat Strange. He hits a batter. Bats leave 1, their first of the game, and after 6, no score. Tides dugout. One of these teams going to break through. No score in this one after 6. New pitcher into the game for Dave Miley's Louisville Bats. That's the right-hander Jeff D'Amico. Bunt by Latham. Corky out behind the dish and fires the first in time. Latham is retired. He tried to bunt one on D'Amico, but Miller flashed out of there and made the play. Latham is nothing out of 3. First man out. We'll take another look.
Did a great job by Corky. Pretty good bunt. Latham lays down. Guy can run a little bit. Corky just jumps all over it. You know, quick as a cat, gets around the ball, makes a good strong throw. He's got a cannon for an easy out at first base.
Leadoff man out. Tell us, Scott, about Jeff D'Amico.
Well, Jeff's had a pretty good year. You know, talking about being traded 3 times. He's been very consistent in 2 starts with the Bats. He's 1-1 with a 3.21 ERA and 14 innings of work, only allowing 8 hits. But overall, his total is 5-8 with a 3.99 ERA. 95 hits and 94 innings of work. Opponents hit 257 off of him. That's a pretty consistent year.
And a pretty good splitter. We see it there to Virgil Chevalier, who's 2 for 2. Quickly ahead of him, no balls and 2 strikes. Brooklyn Dodger fan right there. That was an old Brooklyn Dodger hat, or so it appeared. Jeff D'Amico has worked for 3 teams this year: the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons, the Buffalo Bisons, and now the Louisville Bats. He is one of 2 Jeff D'Amicos in professional baseball. The other works for the parent club of the Tides, the New York Mets. Came up with the Milwaukee Brewers organization as a former #1 pick. He's from Florida. This Jeff D'Amico is from California and lives now in Seattle. He says he has signed many Jeff D'Amico cards, both his and the other.
Confused just on the name. You know, it's talking about a guy that's well traveled, and there's no telling what people ask you to sign.
Spelled and pronounced the same: D''AMICO. This Jeff D'Amico actually a year older. He's 27. The Mets D'Amico 26. This one has done an awfully good job for Louisville, as you mentioned, in his 2 starts. He suffered a loss out of Pawtucket, went 7 innings. And won here over Durham, going 7, allowing 1 run and 4 hits his last time out. Making his first relief appearance for Louisville and only his 2nd relief appearance of the season. He did make 1 relief stint while with the Buffalo Bisons, and in fact picked up a save. He's gone even now to the batter, Virgil Chevalier, 2-2. 71 pitches was, by the way, official. Scott, yours was right on the money.
What else would you expect, Joe?
I didn't think you could keep track with the fingers and the system you had going over there. I thought you'd lose count, but you didn't.
I did have quite a few things going on at the same time.
On deck hitter Velasquez with the Bat Boys. Bat men, really. There's some big fellas. Those are the Batmen.
They may have been shaving for a couple of years. don't see that very often with bat boys.
Hard to left field off the bat of Chevalier, and that's going to give Norfolk the lead. That's a fair ball, and that's a home run for Virgil Chevalier, his first home run of the year. And Norfolk takes a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 7th inning. One nothing in favor of Norfolk here in inning number 7. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Louisville Bats International League and the National Association of Professional Baseball Leagues, solely intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Louisville Bats, the International League, and the NAPBL is prohibited. Cub fan and a Bud man made a catch on that ball. That was not, however, Harry Carey.
Yeah, the ball popped straight back into the upper level and bounces back into the lower level.
2 quick strikes now to Velasquez. Virgil Chevalier hit 5 home runs at AA Binghamton this year. He gets his first this year at the AAA level, and his first ever at AAA. Here's strike 3 called outside corner. Velasquez is out of there. Chevalier had played a total of 15 games prior to this year in the Boston organization at Pawtucket at the AAA level and not homered. He caught that one well off Jeff D'Amico.
See a good pitch, good breaking ball around the outside corner. Freezes Velasquez. Is a nice pitch.
2 men out. Now the pitcher, Pat Strange, he'll go to the mound in the bottom of the 7th, working with a lead for the first time. He's 0 for 2 in this one. Quickly, 2 strikes and nothing.
A couple good hard fastballs there. He just blowing by the pitcher. Strange. Ball up in his zone, challenging him.
Now a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Chevalier hitting .295 at AA, hitting a little over .300. Almost a week's worth of play here. Giving Norfolk the lead as Strange stays alive. Chevalier been around a little bit. 29 years old. Born in Wisconsin, lives in upstate New York now. He's 3 for 3 in this game with that home run. Here's Strange and a swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning for D'Amico. That's the good news. The bad news is that he's given up the home run ball to Chevalier, and it's stretch time here in Louisville. 1-0 Tides. Look at the bridge. That's the 2nd Street Bridge, I believe, here in downtown Louisville. Middle of the 7th, 1-0 in favor of the Tides. Look over the left field corner, and that is indeed the 2nd Street Bridge. Well, the home run by Chevalier, his first at the AAA level, has given Norfolk the lead. That was an interesting at bat in which he hit that home run.
Yeah, D'Amico has a mode too, and it ends up being an 8 pitch at bat. At the home run, the count was full. You know, it's a situation where you don't want to walk the leadoff hitter, or actually the second hitter of the inning can't put anybody on in a nothing ball game. Gets a ball from in the zone, and Chevalier hits it out of the ballpark.
Alex Hernandez will lead things off. He's fanned twice in this game. 1-0 now in favor of the Tides. They look to get out of town with a split. Hernandez with a bunt. Pitcher gets it. Race to the base. And out at first. Hernandez with a head-first slide. And the pitcher Strange a race over there. And he got there just ahead of the Bats base runner Alex Hernandez. Exciting play over at first. And Strange gets the leadoff man.
Pretty good bunt by Hernandez. You see him take it with him. And Strange hops off the mound. This is classic pitcher's fielding practice, that in-between play where you get it and take it straight to the bag. Boom, bang, bang play there, and just beats the sliding Hernandez.
Very close play, and you take another look. Boy, that was close. Hernandez had the left hand in there. Strange had the right foot there. That's not your run-of-the-mill one unassisted right there, is it?
Definitely not. And that shows, I mean, Strange, he's a big man going after that ball, and you know, if there's a collision there, I think he might get the better part of Hernandez.
He just got to the bag ahead of Hernandez. Right side ground ball by Sexton. He's thrown out by Ty Wigginton. Sexton with an 11-game hitting streak coming into this game is now 0 for 3. He would figure to get things work out. One more plate appearance. 2 men out. Hitter will be Kevin Witt. Louisville has had 2 base runners in the game. Strange has faced 1 over the minimum. He does not have a complete game nor a shutout, of course, this year. His longest outing of the season is 8 innings. He did that at Syracuse on the 8th of June. In that game, he allowed 1 run, 4 hits. He was the winner over the Syracuse Sky Chiefs. You have to put this one right up there with his best.
Oh, definitely. The command he's exhibited tonight.
Witt hard into right, and that's a base hit. Witt fell down at the plate. They're going to throw. No, they won't throw to first. Witt is safely aboard. Watching that ball go to right, you look down, and Witt had fallen down in the batter's box. You see Rodney McRae standing over there. Kevin appears to be all right. Rodney's saying, what in the heck happened?
Sure, Kevin has a nice explanation for that. I don't know if he rolled his ankle and twisted coming out of the box a little bit, or I know he ended up on his butt. He smoked that ball in the right field, and maybe that follow through, that big swing, put him on his butt.
He has hit the ball hard 3 times. We'll get a chance to look at it. You're exactly right. He turned that left ankle. He ended up on the toe and turned that ankle over a little bit. He's grimacing, isn't he, as he runs down to first. He's going to stay in the game. He's going to be all right. A little tingle in that ankle, though, won't he?
Definite grimace running down to first base. That hurts roll over like that. Looks like the front spike caught a little bit, and he just rolled that ankle completely over.
Harold Williams up there now is nothing out of 2. Kevin Witt has hit the ball 3 times right on the nose tonight, and he's 2 for 3. Williams on a swing and a miss. That ball bounced away from DePastino. Witt will go down to second base.
See the breaking ball there, bouncing the dirt, and Gerald swings over. Could be a blessing in disguise there. The veteran Williams comes through with the single, could score Witt, tie the game up.
Called a wild pitch. DePastino did look like he got kind of crossed up as to which way to put the glove.
It looked like he was kind of in between, whether to turn the thumb down or go down and block it. And ball squirts away from him.
Nice block this time by the Tides catcher. 1 and 2. That's the tying run. Witt out at second base. Only the second time Louisville has had a runner reach second in this game. A dominating performance by Pat Strange tonight. He has no career shutouts. 5 career complete games. None at the AAA level. 1 at the AA level. That was last year down at Binghamton. Here's Williams chasing one out of the strike zone. Strange gets strikeout number 5. That ends the bottom of the 7th inning. The Bats get a runner at second, but he is wasted there. They've stranded 2. And after 7, it's the Tides 1, Louisville nothing. Or the concourse here at the ballpark. After 7, the Tides lead by the score of 1-0. That's headed out toward right field in the playland. That's where you can get your fried bologna right there. Looks like they've run out of fried bologna. No, I'm just kidding. Jeff D'Amico back to work, 8th inning. Norfolk in front by the score of 1-0. Okay, Christensen leading it off hard to first, and Kevin Witt handles it, and that's the first out. Parent club of these Norfolk Tides, the Mets are playing at home tonight against Montreal and trailing 2-0. They're trying desperately to stay in the wild card race. Christensen hit that ball hard.
It looked like a changeup, but he just waited back on and smoked that ball to Witt, and he was out before he got out of the box.
Broken bat right side. Witt falls down. Malloy gets it, feeds the pitcher out at first base. Kevin Witt playing this game on ice skates, and that's the second time that he's fallen down. Once out of the box, that time moving to his right to try to field that ground ball by Bates.
He may call his agent tonight and get a new pair of shoes in. You see that broken bat? Bates just sawed off there, and D'Amico does a nice job breaking toward first base to cover. You never know what's going to happen. Any ball hit to the right side, you always teach your pitchers to break Second baseman comes up, throws to the pitcher for the out.
Well, like you say, you never know what's going to happen, and that's exactly what happened there.
And I've seen sometimes pitchers out there, you might as well buy a ticket, stand there watching what goes on instead of reacting to the play.
This is Ty Wigginton with 2 out, no one on. He has a couple of hits. Tides have 5 hits. He has 2, and Chevalier has 3. Good breaking ball there, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. To third. Sexton across the diamond and in time, and a 1-2-3/8 turned in by Jeff D'Amico. That's the 3rd time in 8 innings the Tides have gone down in order. Here come the Bats again against Pat Strange. Middle of the 8th, 1-0 Norfolk. There's a look at the beautiful grass design that Tom Nielsen and company have come up with here on this homestand. You can see the Louisville L out in center, the baseballs in left and right at the pitcher's mound. What a great design.
Yeah, Tom and his crew have worked great on this field. I mean, hit the hours that it takes to burn that in the grass and the design that they put in. And it's a first-class facility.
It comes up with something new. It seems like every time the team comes home. Meanwhile, the story of this game has been this guy, Pat Strange. What a dominating performance.
He's throwing the ball very well and still got great command. It doesn't look like he's lost anything off his stuff.
Robin Jennings, Corky Miller, Gookie Dawkins here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jennings with time in the big leagues with the Reds last year. Miller and Dawkins this year. Robin's numbers on the season. 1-0 the score. Jennings rolling one out to Wigginton at second. Leadoff man out. Bats did not have a base runner until Witt singled sharply into center in the 5th inning. That was the only base runner of that frame. Dawkins was hit by a pitch in the 6th. Witt had another hit in the 7th.
Strange did a nice job, misses with a fastball, and he doubles up on the fastball and ties up Robin with that fastball that all he can do is didn't get it on the barrel, got off the hands, a weak ground ball to second base.
Here's Corky's, 0 out of 2. Kelly Stinnett has gone up and done a nice job for Cincinnati in that backup role to Jason LaRue. Kelly Stinnett. Corky Miller did a good job while he was up there.
It really proved, you know, he could play at that level and threw the ball well, swung the bat, and did a nice job handling the pitchers.
And the Reds have Dane Sardina in the minor leagues. Top-notch catching prospect as we look at Mike New, the Bats closer, throwing in the bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reds are set up fairly nicely now with LaRue up there, Miller here, Stinnett, whether he's back next year or not, although he is under contract certainly, and then Sardina for the future in terms of the catching spot. There's Pedro Feliciano joining Mike New in the Bats bullpen. He's done great work since coming up from Double-A. Corky Miller, throwback type of player, isn't he? Hard-nosed, likes to get dirty, plays the game hard. What a play he made right before he was sent down here. Recall, if you saw the baseball highlights, on that play at third base down in Houston, gets the runner in the rundown, puts the tag on, and then dives toward third, gets the unassisted double play.
That doesn't happen very often, even through baseball history. See the catcher get 2 putouts like that, and a diving tag for the third out of the inning.
Corky thinks nothing of that type of thing. So, hey, you do what you have to do.
He gets after. I like how he plays.
Just off the plate with that one to Strange, or from Strange rather, to Miller, 3-2. Dawkins on deck. Corky 0 out of 2 in this one. Top off your fried bologna sandwich with a funnel cake. Corky on a breaking ball and a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Pat Strange, and there are 2 men out. 8 is the highest number of strikeouts that Strange has had in a game this year. He's accomplished that 3 times, and the Bats have been baffled tonight.
Definitely see a breaking ball that just falls off the table here and sets it up on down the middle of the plate and lets the ball break off, doesn't overthrow it. Very sharp breaking ball with a lot of late bite to it.
Here's Dawkins. One of just a handful of base runners the Bats have had in this game. In fact, 3, 4 if you count Mateo, who took the place on the force out. Is a tapper back to the mound, knocked down by Strange to first and out. 1, 2, 3 inning number 6 in 8 innings for Pat Strange, and a dominating performance here on this Wednesday night in Louisville. After 8, the Tides in front, 1-0. I'm telling you what now, this young man, every game that we're on television, he has his book with him. He's almost gotten through that one.
He's going to have to switch books next game. He's almost finished.
Another Stephen King special right there. He doesn't want us to see what he's reading. Oh, game started again. Put the book down. On-field activities between innings mean nothing to that gentleman. Porky Miller coming back. And ball out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Andy Tracy. You're the Louisville hitters in this game, Scott. Got to be awfully frustrated that you can't get one mistake Pat Strange is offering up because he's not making any.
Now, like I said, that great command. They've hit a couple balls on the screws, hit balls right at him. Kevin Witt hit the ball pretty hard a couple times. Corky Miller's had a nice couple passes on the ball, but nothing to show for it.
Andy Tracy lifts one into center. Here comes Gerald Williams. It's his first put out, I believe, in this game, out in center field. Longtime major leaguer Gerald Williams. Tracy is nothing at a 4, first out, 9th inning. From a hitter's standpoint, you always talk about trying in each at bat to get one pitch that the pitcher makes a mistake on that you can jump on. You look at Gerald Williams, looks like he's having a good time out there in center. But Pat Strange is not making many mistakes.
No, they're not even getting that one pitch that they could handle.
DiPastino into right center field. This is going to get down, and this ball will go all the way to the wall. DiPastino gets into second base with a double. He's there with 1 man out. DiPastino 1 for his last 21 coming into this at bat. He rockets one, a double into right center field. He's in scoring position for DiPastino, his 11th double of the year.
You see the ball, it squirts into the gap up against the PNC sign. DiPastino stand up double. Looked like the ball, looked like D'Amico may have overthrown that ball a little bit and elevated the strike zone. DiPastino's able to handle it.
Latham the batter now. Grounded out twice and tried to bunt his way on his last time. First pitch swinging. Why not? Fly ball right center. Going back Williams and Jennings. It's Williams that makes the catch. DiPastino will tag and move to third. A little bit of confusion out there as it's tough to see when it gets to be twilight. It's not quite totally the twilight time now. But we'll watch Jennings and Williams come together and see what happened.
Ball was hit fairly well by Latham. See both guys, Jennings and Williams, going back. You're not going to throw the guy out at third. Just want to catch that ball and get it back in the infield. Looked like they had a tough time hearing one another communicating out there.
Last road trip for the Bats in Rochester, somewhat similar play to that with Williams and Brady Clark coming together. And Clark didn't see the ball, nor did Gerald until the last moment. Gerald reached out, couldn't make the catch.
It's a good fastball by D'Amico, and home plate umpire Stuart Robertson's been very consistent, giving that outside corner to both sides tonight.
Would you call that Eric Gregish?
Yeah, that was out there a little bit, I think.
We have had in each of the last 3 games here at Louisville Slugger Field someone thrown out of the game. Dave Miley was tossed out on Sunday afternoon against Durham by the home plate umpire Stu Robertson. Monday night, or Monday afternoon I should say, Durham pitching coach Joe Coleman tossed out by Troy Fullwood. Ground ball to the first baseman, and Witt makes the play to retire the side. Last night Jeff Fry thrown out by James Hoy. Now the last chance coming up for the Bats. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Norfolk leads 1-0. One last crack for the Bats. 1-0 to score. Norfolk on that home run in the 7th inning by Virgil Chevalier. Pat Strange through 8 innings, Scott, a remarkable 85 pitches.
85. I mean, you talked about earlier how he's not wasting anything and not giving hitters that one pitch per at bat that they normally see that they can handle, and just pitched a phenomenal game.
Jesse Levis will lead things off as a pinch hitter for D'Amico. Levis been swinging a torrid bat for Louisville. He's hitting .273, 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. Jesse Levis has hit safely in 10 of his last 11. He had a 7-game hitting streak right after the All-Star break. And he had that 3-run homer against the league's best closer, Lee Gardner of Durham, in the bottom of the 9th here on Monday afternoon to pull one out for the Bats 5-3. Rolls one right side here, knocked down by the first baseman. Strange over to cover. The ball off his glove, and the Bats have the tying run on to start the bottom of the 9th inning. Pat Strange, the pitcher, on his 86th pitch, will be charged with an error. Looked like he was looking away a little too quickly.
Looked like he was trying to see what the umpire was going to call. He looks right, and the ball just goes off the side of his glove. You got to make sure you get that out, first out of the 9th inning.
Levis reaches on the error by Strange. First error of the game, and now they take another look.
You see him looking at the ball, just turns his head immediately as the ball gets to his glove and misses the ball. And that's a fairly easy play. Jesse's not the fastest guy, so you got plenty of time. All you got to do is get to the bag, make sure you catch the ball.
Raul Gonzalez just back from Cincinnati. He played in 10 games up there. Been there since the All-Star break. For just shy of 2 weeks. Has come on to pinch run at first for Jesse Levis. By hook or by crook, Levis gets on base. That's the tying run with no one out. Here's Marty Malloy, top of the order, showing bunt, takes a ball. First time in the game, Norfolk has action in their bullpen. A right-hander, Jason Roach, gets up, starts to throw. Marty bunts toward third. Pretty good one. Bobbled by the third baseman. Everybody's safe. Third baseman Tracy came in to make a play. Tracy bobbled the ball and had no play anywhere. That's going to be a sacrifice bunt and an error on the third baseman, Andy Tracy.
What a great bunt by Marty. Puts it in the spot, makes it a tough play for the third baseman. Andy Tracy comes in. He has time. Marty's going hard down the line, put some pressure on Tracy to come up. All you want to do is make sure that you get it out there, and didn't make the play.
Sacrifice credited to Malloy. Error charge to the third baseman Tracy. Gonzalez, the pinch runner, down to second base. There's Marty Malloy talking with Rodney McRae at first, telling him to look at Dave Miley for the signs. Bats have the tying run at second. Winning run at first base. Alex Hernandez, nothing out of 3, is up there. Would you bunt him now here with no one out?
I'll definitely bunt these guys over no one out. Give a couple swings to the meat of your order to try to drive these runs in.
Meat being Sexton third and Witt fourth. Hernandez shows bunt and takes the ball outside. Double barrel action in the Bats bullpen. Right-hander Mark Thompson, right-hander Mike New throwing in the Louisville pen, and Jason Roach throwing in the Norfolk pen. There's ball 2, and now a quick throw to second by DiPestino. Gonzalez gets back in time. 2 on with nobody out.
I saw that snap throw from the catcher DiPestino. Gonzalez is trying to make sure that he gets to third. He doesn't want to make the first out third when Hernandez gets the bunt down, so he's trying to get a little extra, and they try to sneak in behind him.
There's the bunt, foul toward third base. 2 balls and 1 strike. Andy Tracy cheating in from third, and first baseman Chevalier doing the same. 2 balls and 1 strike. First chink in the armor in this game against that guy, 21-year-old Pat Strange. Sexton waits on deck. Hernandez bunts. Pretty good one. Strange gets it to first. Close, but out at first base. And Strange almost got through that ball away.
Almost. He rushed to the ball. Knew he had to get rid of it in a hurry. He's trying to get it out. Trying to make up for that ball at first base that he should have caught. And that was a tough play.
1-4 on the putout. Sacrifice credited to Hernandez. And now Chris Sexton will get a chance. And there's a look at Hernandez on the bunt. Here's what you were talking about.
Front shoulder flies a little bit and causes that ball to sail. That's a tough play for a second baseman to catch.
Hernandez deadened that ball very nicely. Game on the line here. Second and third with one man out. A hit could win it for the Bats. They have had 17 last at bat wins this year. Sexton with the infield in. Takes one up and in for ball one. Tying run is Raul Gonzalez. He's down at third. The pinch runner for Levis reached on an error to start the inning. Winning run is Marty Malloy. He's out at second base, and he reached on an error. Sexton, another one out of the zone. 2 balls and no strikes. We saw earlier Rick Waits, pitching coach of the Tides, go to the mound and visit. Jason Roach, the right-hander, continues to throw in the bullpen. We had inadvertently called Al LaBeouf the pitching coach earlier. He's the hitting coach of this club. Sexton bounces one foul past third. 2 balls and a strike. Veteran Sexton with an 11-game hitting streak on the line. He's the franchise record holder in terms of a hitting streak. He hit in 20 in a row in 2000. Cincinnati native, named the captain of this Louisville club in spring training by Dave Miley, the manager, and Tim Naring, the player development director. With a good eye up there, and he takes the ball outside, 3-1, and Kevin Witt has hit the ball hard 3 times against Strange, is on deck. And if he loses Sexton via the walk, there'll be nowhere to put Witt.
They're probably going to make him hit a breaking ball here and take a chance. Load the
He lays off that one low. Ball 4. And what about this ending? Bases loaded with one man out. Norfolk leading 1-0. Kevin Witt, who has a grand slam this year and has 2 hits in this game and is the league's leader in RBIs, is at the plate. I'd say this calls for an old Abner has done it again.
Definitely. I mean, look at this situation. You got a guy with 74 RBIs. You know, he has hit that grand slam. I'm sure he just wants to put one in the grass, put his team on the board, and give him a chance to win.
Old Abner has done it again, courtesy of Mike Shannon, St. Louis Cardinal radio voice. Here's Kevin Witt. They're loaded with 1 out. And ball 1 misses low. That walk, by the way, the first given up by Strange in this game with 6 strikeouts. He came into this game, into this inning with 85 pitches. We'll check and see how many pitches he's thrown in this inning.
Looking at this pitch right here, this setup with Witt, I know he's going to come unglued, come out of his shoes on this swing. He gets a fastball he can handle.
He has thrown 14 in this inning. Witt with a drive in the center field. Back goes Christensen. He's not going to get to it. This ball over his head and off the wall. 1 run scores. That ties it. Here comes the winner. Stepping on the plate is Marty Malloy. And how about this one? The Bats get a 2-run double off the bat of the league's leader in RBIs, Kevin Witt, to dead center field, scoring 2. And the Bats get 2 in the bottom of the 9th and pull it out by the final score of 2-1. What a thrilling ending.
Unbelievable. Kevin gets the ball. He just hammers up the middle, down center field. Ball 1 hop the fence, enables both runs across the plate. That's a great ending for that game.
You couldn't ask for anything better than that. The Louisville Bats sweep the series. They've now won 4 games in a row, and they win for the 59th time, and for the first time this year get a dozen games over 500 with a thrilling, exciting, clutch 2-1 victory with 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. What a way to go out. Hope you've enjoyed this one from Louisville Slugger Field in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Our executive producer has been Tom Burnett, and our director George Rasmussen. Our producer has been Chip Crewer. For Scott Wiegand, this is Jim Kelch. Again, the final score with 2 in the bottom of the 9th. The Bats pull it out 2-1. And now make sure you stay tuned for the best damn sports show in progress here on Fox Sports Net. 2-1. The Bats a winner. Good night from Louisville.